Hi, I'm Davy. I'm awesome. And welcome to Davy's Awesome Movies, where I review the styles of movies I love, the alternative, B-rated, cold-style flicks. And we're officially into the Christmas season. And nothing says Christmas quite like Santa Claus, played by a big Jewish wrestler, slaughtering people. This movie was made in 2005, and was written and directed by David Steinman. Produced by Brett Ratner, Sammy Lee, Matthew Leonetti Jr., and Doug Steeden. Made by VIP Media and Funds 1, and distributed by Media 8 Entertainment and Lionsgate. Ladies and gentlemen, Santa Sleigh! The movie opens with some cameos. There's James Caan, Fran Drescher, Chris Kattan, Rebecca Gayheart, all Jewish actors celebrating Christmas.
I'll stick this fork in your eye. Why don't you beg Santa for a pair of balls?
They're a family that I think has forgotten about the real meaning of Christmas. But then they get a visit. Someone coming down the chimney. I wonder who could it be?
Santa?
Yes, Virginia. There is a Santa Claus.
Santa is played by Bill Goldberg, who is also Jewish. Then again, most of the leads in this movie are played by Jewish actors. What's the matter? Did you think non-Jewish actors wouldn't want to be in a Christmas horror film? 'Cause I would. Who cares? It's kind of funny. Santa is there to spread something. But it's not holiday cheer. Yeah, right. We've all seen Urban Legend. Sadly. Now over to Con! Okay, but other than that, how was the turkey? Was it too dry? Did you need to add some gravy? Then we go to a town called Hell Township. They don't say exactly where Hell Township is, but I'm guessing Michigan. Because there is an actual city in Michigan that they named Hell. There is a Hell, Michigan. The townspeople named it that because they thought it would be funny. And I guarantee you I could not live there, because it gets very cold, and I guarantee you within 5 minutes I'd be irritated of all the, oh, looks like hell froze over, and oh, look, a snowball does stand a chance in here. However, this entire movie, including the scenes of Hell Township, were all filmed in Canada. Yeah, I don't know which one is worse, Michigan or Canada. Huh? I guess Canada, but slight margin. Then we go to the Heaven Sent Sandwich Shop, where one of our leads, Nicholas Yulson, if that's not a bit on the nose, is dealing with a mean customer who wants her sandwich at a discount. The owner of the shop, Mr. Green, agrees to give her the sandwich for $4.50.
$4.50.
That's 16 quarters. That's only $4. Cheap ass. After shorting them 50 cents and cursing them out for saying Happy Holidays versus Merry Christmas, she finally leaves.
What a pleasant lady.
I personally don't give a crap if somebody says Happy Holidays versus Merry Christmas. We all know what holiday we're celebrating. As the old lady leaves, she encounters Santa Claus, who runs her off the road, killing her. But the real tragedy is, she never got to eat that sandwich. Mr. Green, in the holiday spirit, he gives gifts to his workers. The girl, Mary Mac Mackenzie, he gives her a nice snow globe. As far as Nick, he gets a clock that can literally tell you the time in any time zone in the world. And I'm such a nerd that in my opinion, that's a freaking cool gift. Mary takes Nick to his house, where he lives with his grandpa, who is obviously paranoid because his house is extremely guarded. Not to mention he makes really interesting things. The grandpa is played by Robert Culp, rest in peace, who is in another awesomely bad Christmas movie I reviewed. He's not only the grandpa, that's what he's casted as. Grandpa. Apparently Grandpa doesn't actually have a name. Unless maybe his parents did name him Grandpa in anticipations that he'd be a grandpa someday, so... missed opportunities. Grandpa takes Nick into a bunker he's created, which makes me wonder what this man is preparing for. He's preparing for the next Kim Kardashian book. Grandpa hates Santa, and Nick wants to know once and for all, what is his big problem with Santa Claus? So Grandpa takes out an old book.
och landerlik folk som gissar i första Gud.
It's in Icelandic. Which makes sense, considering many believe that a lot of the mythos of Santa Claus does come from Norse legend. Grandpa starts telling the story of how the devil had a child that he named Santa. And every year on Santa's birthday, he would become powerful, and the slayings would start. Until Christianity started spreading to the region, and they started praying to God for protection. And then, there's a knock at the door.
I hope you like Wolverine. My dad shot it this morning.
Couldn't be worse than bear meat. Yes, I've had bear meat. Very greasy. Then we go to the town pastor. And in a movie like this, that means he's corrupt. And naturally, because he's taking the tithe money and going into a strip club. But then, guess who else is going to be a patron of this strip club? Santa Claus! Hopefully Santa brought plenty of singles and some mistletoe. Because the girls inside brought the camel. He's there to take out the naughty. But I cannot show you a whole lot of this scene, as it takes place in a strip club, so naturally I can't show much of this to you. At least not until he drives the strippers out. Santa Claus! That would be my reaction. Some of his kills in the strip club, though, are very shocking. After Mary leaves, Nick goes to read the rest of the book by himself. And he starts to envision this story of Santa. For some reason, he envisions it in the style of stop animation. Like those old Christmas cartoons that we all enjoy, like The Little Drummer Boy and Santa Claus Comes to Town. The story goes that God sent an angel down disguised as an old man to stop the slayings. The old man had challenged Santa to a contest. If Santa won, he got to take the old man's soul to hell. If the old man wins, Santa has to not only stop the slayings, but he has to spread joy and cheer for Christmas for at least 1,000 years. And as you can guess,
the old man had won.
And it's been 1,000 years, so Santa can now kill again. Of course, Nick dismisses it.
He's nuts.
Now it's Christmas morning, and we see a couple of greedy little brats opening their Christmas presents. Well, that looked real. Now, as you can imagine, after all the slayings, Santa's a little hungry. He wants a sandwich. Now that you hit the spear, it's time to set him up for the jackhammer! Santa, played by a Jew, stabbed a man with a menorah. Good Lord, all the irony! Then Nick stops at a gas station.
What's up?
And bumps into Tiny Lister, rest in peace, who seems to have a habit of making awesomely bad movies with wrestlers. But on the police scanner behind Tiny Lister, Nick hears about the Heaven Sent sandwich shop, so he rushes straight over. I know how you're feeling right now, Nick. You're scared, confused, and worried about what this is going to mean in the future. But just understand, the McDonald's down the street is hiring. He goes to pull the menorah out. You shouldn't do that. That's technically contaminating a crime scene.
Nicholas.
Oh, bullshit!
No!
The police show up, and of course they take Nick in for questioning.
Santa Claus is not a myth or a legend. He's real, only he's not bearing gifts and presents anymore.
Well, Nick sure accepted that fast. Which good, that saves time. But how does the police captain feel about his conclusion?
Leave now, and I won't have you committed to the farm at Northville. Wait.
About how we would expect. After Nick leaves, of course, Mary picks him up, and the police captain gets a special visit. Right in his...
Captain Winky!
Santa leaves, and then we cut over to Mary, who's getting pulled over by a cop.
We gotta get out of here now! Floor it!
Luckily, Mary's dad is a small-town redneck, which means he keeps a shotgun in his truck. Yeah! They go to Nick's house, and they immediately rush into his grandpa's bunker, which was built for survival, not as a fortress. Which sucks because Santa followed them, and now he's gonna get in. But luckily, Grandpa has a way out. It leads to the garage where they can get onto a snowmobile and get out of there. But Santa followed them.
Oh, I've waited a long time for this day.
Not half as long as I have.
Guess we know who the old man who beat him was. Then again, I think we figured that out very quickly. Grandpa can't believe it that after 1,000 years, Santa still hasn't changed. Even though he's spent the last 1,000 years spreading joy to children.
I hate children.
I think he's mad because of all the sugar cookies you guys left him. You should have known. Santa likes chocolate chip. Or Oreos. Not golden Oreos.
Oh, Grandpa got run over by a reindeer.
I mean, it's only fair. Happened to Grandma first. Nick and Mary take off in the snowmobile, and of course Santa chases after them for a while. They go all through the woods, all through the town. Even almost get shot by some skeet shooters. They're trying to alert the town of Santa, but he's right behind them. In pursuit, of course, Santa ends up getting the pastor. Because they always have to throw that pastor cliche in all of these kinds of movies. They even had one of these characters in Silent Night. Nick's plan is to hide until 7 p.m., which will be midnight in North Pole, meaning for Santa, Christmas will officially be over, he will be powerless, and he will have to leave. So they break into a school, and in his bag, Nick finds something.
He loved you a lot.
I don't see how fresh walnuts are going to help right now. Santa catches up to him, and when he does, he throws the book at them. As they're running, this school has an ice hockey rink. Which, good for you. My school didn't even have a swimming pool. And my school was in the state capital. Santa decides to try out the Zamboni. And it's not like the two can really run from him considering they're on ice. It's too slippery. So just as he's about to catch them, Grandpa's back! I mean, he was an angel. They explain that he gave up his immortality for Nick's grandma. So I don't know what that would make him. Like, what? He's like a fourth angel now? Santa tells him how he found Grandpa.
Dear Santa, I've been a good boy nearly every day this year.
Nick wrote him a letter. Which means Santa actually reads those letters. Which begs the question, where's my Teddy Ruxpin? Grandpa challenges Santa to the game they played. If Santa wins, he takes the old man's soul to hell. If the old man wins, this time Santa has to be good and spread cheer forever. Kind of feel like we could have avoided all this if you had just made that the stakes in the first game. But Santa's determined this time he is going to win. He is going to send Grandpa to hell. Well, the actual hell. Not the town that they named hell for the stupid jokes. Which, you know what, fine. I'm going to go find a piece of land, start a town, and I'm going to call it Toilet, because I don't give a crap. But when it's Santa's turn... And this is why you never got picked for kickball. But according to Nick, it is now midnight at the North Pole, meaning Christmas is over. Santa is powerless.
Christmas is over when I say it's over.
But Nick has a nutcracker.
Chest. Nut.
I think Arnold would have said something like, "Don't get nutty." Or, "Hey, that's nuts." We all know what Michael Keaton would have said. He would have said, "You want to get nuts? Come on! Let's get nuts!" So that has nothing to do when Christmas is over or not. It's all about Santa's nut allergies. Luckily, Grandpa was able to catch himself before falling all the way down to hell. So they pull him out and Santa leaves because Christmas is over and he is now powerless. Which is why Grandpa suggests that they go after him because this is the perfect time to end this once and for all. But the thing is, Grandpa cannot go with them.
I'll be around.
Yeah, but if they ever finally make a sequel, he won't. Robert Culp died 5 years later. Nick and Mary find a bunch of hunters. Among them is Mary's brother and Mary's father. And they tell them about the big reindeer going on in the sky that they could bag, making them master hunters, I guess. So they all try to shoot it. But who had the bazooka?
Daddy?
Hi, sweethearts!
Of course. But when they find Santa...
Pastor Timmons.
But hey, they're safe. At least for a year. If Santa died. But that is the question. Did Santa survive that blast or not? Find out right now.
How many bags do you have to check, sir?
Just one.
Yes, he did. Cool thing in this movie even shows us in the credits who among the cast was naughty and nice. Shows us all the way down to the post-credit scene.
Who's next?
Because he's Goldberg. And that was his wrestling catchphrase. Clever. So there you have it, that's a 2005 Christmas horror movie classic, Santa Sleigh. This movie had its success, it definitely made a profit. There's no real box office to speak of, as it was a straight-to-DVD release. However, like I said, among rentals and buyings, because of nerds like me, it did make a profit. In fact, ever since this movie came out in 2005, fans have been clamoring for a Santa Sleigh 2. We've yet to get one or even have one announced, but it's still in our Christmas lists. The film mostly got positive reviews, some negative, but the majority of critics took it for what it was. A satirical, funny, comedy horror movie set around Christmas. And honestly, I don't know if anybody better than Goldberg could have played an evil Santa. It worked so very well. Now obviously there have been Christmas horror movies dating all the way back to the 70s, and obviously they are a very niche product. However, with the success of this movie being a straight-to-DVD release, a lot of people have credited the success of Santa Sleigh to being why they decided to do a series of Christmas horror movies, i.e. Krampus. Another little interesting tidbit is that it was on the set of Santa Sleigh that Bill Goldberg met his wife, stunt woman Wanda Ferriton. Several months after they filmed this movie, the two were married and have been married ever since. But kind of funny though, the only reason Wanda Ferriton agreed to do this movie is because she was under the impression that the evil Santa was going to be played by Jeff Goldblum. But I can't help but chuckle a little bit at the thought of, hey mom, dad, how'd you guys meet? Well son, I met your father while he was playing a killer Santa. Now what do you want for Hanukkah this year? So as far as this Christmas movie goes, obviously it's not one for the kids. It's one for the adults who like Christmas movies, especially Christmas horror movies. And I would just recommend that if you haven't seen this movie, just take it for that, what it is. The funny, satirical Christmas horror movie starring big wrestler Bill Goldberg. I personally love this movie. I think it's awesome. And I not only highly recommend that you check it out, but I recommend that you make it a part of your yearly Christmas movie watch list. So there you have it. That's my movie review this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit that little bell so you get notifications when I post new videos, and leave a comment. Tell me what you thought of Santa Sleigh. Love you guys.